It has been a hard 1 year for Anne Wanjiko. She's still trying to come to grips with the death of her husband and the stigma that his death caused.
Even at my place of work, it appeared like I would even contaminate some clients. So by the time they realized that it wasn't what they thought, it took me some time. I could not explain to every other person. Up to this moment, there are those who don't even handle me the way I'm supposed to be or the way I used to be.
But she needed to be certain that there actually were peacekeepers who served in Eritrea who may be dying from the same disease her husband suspected to be ALS. Accompanying us to Nanyuki, she found her answer. We went to the home of Jeffrey Minor, once a strong and proud soldier who near the end of his career served in the 13th Battalion of soldiers commissioned to serve as UN peacekeepers in Eritrea. But from the slow, unsteady gait of the man that comes out of his house to meet me, it isn't hard to tell that this soldier is now facing a new, more personal battle against an enemy he does not know.
Tarehe 17 mwezi wa 7 nilianza kutembea na mwavuli na mwana hii, nikaona ni kama tu mwezi wa 7 tarehe 17
ilikuwa ngumu kutembea.
Nilikuwa nikitembea na mwavuli, ilikuwa ngumu kutembea. Bali na chido sana. Mimi kwenda huko sikuwa na problem yote. Shida hii imekuja hapa, imeanza kurufuka hapa.
Jeffrey then began seeking medical advice over an ailment he could not understand, and the answers he got didn't help much either.
Yote, nothing. Hakuna report.
Still though, his and Peter's ailment, as well as the reports of numerous soldiers suffering from the disease, is as baffling as it is sad. But thousands of miles away in the United States, a few years after the first Gulf War veterans also began dying from a disease similar to Jeffrey's. Could there be a connection between these two sets of cases, even though they happened on two different continents? Dr. Jazur Hooker, one of only 11 practicing neurologists in the country, explains that there may indeed be a pattern.
One such situation appears to be the participation in the military activity. This has been recently heavily researched, and there is now some good data to show that.
In the United States, it had been suspected that ALS sufferers had been exposed to neurotoxins that made them susceptible to ALS. But this alone wasn't the cause of the mysterious disease in soldiers.
Clearly, it didn't matter where or when you served in the US military. So it's possible that there are some factors contributing to this, but at the moment they are still under research and we do not know the exact reasons for this association.
Data from the ALS Association also states that people serving in the military are 60% more prone to developing ALS than the general population, with the disease robbing them of their abilities.
Unaona mimi sasa zina nguvu yote, ile kitu yote, wewe kuwa responsibility. Hata watoto. Umeona hii mtaji mkubwa. Hana pahali kwa kazi lakini anakuwa na lobby. Hii flake town. Sasa nikaanza kwa vita sasa zina nguvu yote. Wewe responsibility. Mimi kuangalia tu nikuketi tu hapa tu.
The disease progresses, and as the disease progresses, the limitations increase, the difficulties increase. Often all these difficulties can be managed in some way or the other, but eventually the disease is fatal.
Sadly, the silence of the military on an issue that is important to its troops is deafening. Even though it as an institution is not responsible for the deaths of the soldiers from ALS, it can be part of the solution.
The military and medical establishments need to work together to first identify what factors there are that increase this risk. Once we know those factors, then I think certainly we should avoid exposing our military personnel who sacrifice so much for our nations.
Because the safety of our troops is the security of their families.
He even regretted why he went for peacekeeping, to have gotten whatever he got. He never was happy with whatever he got.
And because brave soldiers are now paying a high price well after leaving the battlefield.
Kwa vile sasa ni kuwa hata ndio niweza za giro na puchute wanawajua tu ya mimi mundu ya Mungu tu na ngojea tu. Kwa vile sasa mimi hakuna kitu inapatikana. Na siwezi kuweza kwenda leta dawa hii. Dawa hii hakuna inasaidia mimi.
And because the military itself has a stake in helping stop its soldiers from dying in peacetime. John Allen Abu, KTN, for the Inside Story.